It's time for Wild About Trial, where two lawyers square off on the most interesting legal cases going on around the country. With us today, the creator of Wild About Trial and criminal defense attorney Allison Treasel, and former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Bob Bianchi. Thanks for being with us today. All right, let's rock and roll with it. First story is a controversial case which we've been following closely here on Crime Watch Daily. Fertility doctor Donald Cline admitted to using his own sperm as many as 50 times to impregnate several of his patients. As bad as that sounds, it's not actually a crime. However, Dr. Cline was charged with 2 counts of obstruction of justice for lying about the incident to investigators. He faced up to 3 years in prison, but just recently he was given only a 1-year suspended sentence, a ruling that has outraged his former patients. Allison, is this okay?
It's unethical, it's immoral, it's probably pretty gross, but at the end of the day, the conduct was not illegal, and that's very important here. Yes, was it a little light? Is it unheard of? No.
This has created a lot of carnage. We have people that are out there right now that don't know whether or not they're dating their sister or brother.
This is a small town in Indiana.
It's a small town.
Yeah.
And I disagree that there's not a crime here. What I agree with is that the statute of limitations has expired on the crime.
Do you think he should have been punished more severely?
Absolutely.
Should he have gone to prison? As
a prosecutor, I need to deter conduct. And one of the first things I'm going to deter is lying and obstruction of justice.
In the future, it may be a crime for this conduct. However, at this time, there is no penal code section that says you can't do this. So if there's no crime...
I disagree.
It's
a fraud.
Reprehensible.
It is a fraud to take money from people.
Is reprehensible. But by the way, let me say something. Let me take a step back. Is it that reprehensible because these were anonymous donors?
He wasn't anonymous.
He wasn't anonymous to the doctor.
He was anonymous to them.
It was a money-making scheme that he had, period, end of story. And as a prosecutor, I may not be able to prosecute him on that, but I'm going all the way, and the judge should have deterred this conduct on the obstruction charge and put him at least in the county jail for the 365 days he pled guilty to.
We don't invent laws to punish people when it is not a crime.
You're not inventing a law.
It's
called obstruction
not in this country.
of
we
justice.
Don't do that.
Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Dr. Cline should have done jail time? Sound off right now on our Facebook page. Okay, our last story is out of Hawaii. A woman wants to sever her parental rights to a child because she says her ex-wife gave birth using a sperm donor against her wishes while she was deployed with the military. Now, attorneys for the divorced couple are fighting over several issues, including child support. Allison, this is a first.
The pregnant woman says she absolutely was given permission, and they had talked about it during the course of the marriage. The courts have always ruled that the presumption is when you are a married couple that the other spouse takes responsibility for the child.
But you can overcome that presumption. And that's why the lawyer is fighting to say there was an agreement and consent, and the other one is saying there was no agreement. Why is he fighting that there was an agreement and consent? Because they know, just like a heterosexual couple, that if, in fact, they did not consent to the insemination, that they would not have to be responsible for caring for that child.
I don't even agree with what you're saying about heterosexual couples. I think there is a very strong presumption that whoever you are married to, whatever the sex of that person, they are the presumed
If my wife goes
parent.
out and has sex with the next door neighbor,
and you have an ability to prove it, you have a way to prove it.
Yes, of course.
Here,
it comes to, like,
there's no way.
Allison, let me
when
finish.
I'm done, you can finish.
No, I was in the middle of speaking when you interrupted me.
Right, one at a time. One at a time.
My hypothetical was that the next door neighbor impregnates my wife, and I did not consent to him doing that, and I can prove that. I am not responsible for that child, so it comes down to consent.
The standard DNA testing is not here.
Exactly.
So how is your client going to say that bedroom conversations where these two discussed having children did not happen?
However, if a court agrees in a hearing that the person did not know that they were going to have the baby, did not consent to have the baby, then they are not going to be responsible, just like a heterosexual couple. However, if at any point in time she consented to that baby, she can't just throw it away and disown it. It's a fact question.
Okay, now we want to hear from you. What side are you on? Sound off right now on our Facebook page. Bob, Allison, thank you as always for a spirited legal debate.